This is the official
theme park
Top 40 with
DJ B Coasters.
Hello and welcome to another one of these theme park list videos, and you can see from the title we're going to be looking at some of my favourite theme park soundtracks. However, these won't be in any order because I'm not Simon Cowell, but I will try and talk about each one, say what I like about it, but please don't expect me to do this with the technical kind of terminology. Oh, this one's got a thumping bass. Oh, this one, I really love the recorder sound. But this video is almost asking for a copyright claim. Please, can I have a copyright claim? Yeah, sure. So this video is just for entertainment purposes, and all of the music used is owned by its official copyright owners. So if I end up behind bars, you'll know why. I've made a playlist with all these soundtracks in, and I will link it below in the description, but please don't check it now because that will spoil the video for you. I've got a lot of soundtracks to get through, so let's go straight into it. So we begin at Blackpool Pleasure Beach with Big One, and although this soundtrack does start with some random lady shouting out bingo numbers, it does progress on to become a very good soundtrack.
75 100 101 69
Also, Blackpool Pleasure Beach is Icon, and it's safe to say this has a very iconic soundtrack. And yeah, it just fits the ride perfectly. It's very atmospheric and I really like it. It's one of the most popular as well. Remaining in the UK but moving on to Alton Towers, we have Oblivion, and this is some strange kind of 90s rave music, but I do enjoy it. It's very catchy and it fits the ride very well. Right next to Oblivion in Alton Towers is The Smiler, and this soundtrack does get overshadowed by some strange laughing. I don't mind it, but I know some people don't like that. But this part of the soundtrack where you can feel the energy building up, I love that part, and it's a really great soundtrack, fitting the ride very well. Yet another Alton Towers ride with an ominous theme is Wickman. And I really like this soundtrack as well, which is why it's in the video, and it's very atmospheric. It fits the feel of the ride very well, and it's quite unique as well. There's not many soundtracks like this one. The final Alton Towers soundtrack in this list is of Galactica, and this is arguably the best at Alton Towers. It's a very good soundtrack, it's very dramatic, and yeah, it has that epic feel you're looking for with this space themed ride. The final UK soundtrack in this list isn't of any particular ride, but it is the Thorpe Park Island like no other soundtrack, and this does have a very uplifting melody. Next up is Helix at Liseberg in Sweden, and this is definitely one of the best soundtracks in the world. This is one of the most popular. Personally, I wouldn't say it's my favourite, but it's definitely up there. It's one of the most unique as well. I can't think of many soundtracks like this one. Also in Scandinavia, but in Finland, we have Tiger at Linnanmäki. And this is an Intamin launch coaster, but that doesn't matter because the soundtrack is what we're looking at, and the soundtrack on this is very underrated. I honestly think that this is some of Imascore's finest work. Now to Poland with Lek Coaster at Legendia, and this has a very catchy melody. Sometimes it can get annoying. I can imagine standing in the queue for so long you might get annoyed with this, but some people may just love it, and I do think it's a good soundtrack either way. We've now got Euromir at Europa Park in Germany, and this is very iconic. It's got a very catchy tune and a brilliant beat. Sometimes I can't help but head bop to this tune. Voden Timber Coaster is another ride at Europa Park with a very good soundtrack. It feels really epic, but it still keeps the uplifting tone. Yet another ride at Europa Park is this Silver Star, and this has sort of a rock song as its soundtrack, and it's really cheesy but it has very positive vibes and I do like it. The final Europa Park soundtrack in this list is Blue Fire, and I believe this is onboard audio, and it does a really good job of building up, and I'm pretty sure it's all in sync with the launch and everything, and it's really good. Wilde Hilde at Schwaben Park does happen to be themed around chickens, hence this ridiculous soundtrack. It's very comical, but it is actually quite catchy, and you could be head bopping to this as well as Euromia, but I'm not going to put Gandalf in this time. Another park in Germany with a brilliant range of soundtracks is Phantasialand, and first up at Phantasialand is River Quest. This River Rapids ride has a really good soundtrack. Another water ride at Phantasialand with a good soundtrack is Chapas, and this is one of the most positive, happy, uplifting soundtracks that there's been, and it's just such good fun to listen to. It's really catchy and it's very good. Now for one of my personal favourites, it's Taron, and this is just one of those epic, dramatic soundtracks which you just love. Although it's not open yet, Ruckberg has been announced in a teaser video, which came with this absolutely amazing soundtrack. Maybe this will be for the ride Fly, which will be built inside this area, but we don't know yet. But this soundtrack, either way, it's really good. You can hear these mechanical sound effects which are going to fit this steampunk theme perfectly. Star Trek Operation Enterprise at Movie Park Germany has a very good soundtrack. Although it doesn't really fit the space theme, it's very good. It reminds me a little bit of Taron, but I prefer Taron either way. Now to Hyder Park for a soundtrack which won't actually be played at the park anymore. It's the old Colossus soundtrack, and I'm a massive fan of this soundtrack. I think it just about sums up I'm a Score. Upon the retheme of Colossus to Colossus Kampf der Giganten, there came this epic new soundtrack. Personally, I prefer the old one, but it's still a very good soundtrack. Another fantastic I'm a Score soundtrack is Der Schwur des Kernen at Hansa Park. Does a really good job of building up the atmosphere, and then it comes to a fantastic drop. It's definitely one of those epic, heroic soundtracks. Now to the Netherlands, Speed of Sound at Walibi Holland has a really good soundtrack. It's a bit of a dance soundtrack, but it's got such a good melody. It does a really good job of building up. Unfortunately, after the bass drops, it loses this melody and it's just quite generic, but you are listening to this on board the ride, and it does turn an average Vekoma Boomerang into a very decent ride. Also at Wallaby Holland is Lost Gravity, and this has a very similar kind of EDM soundtrack. It's an actual pop song called Move Up by Mr. Polska, but it's very good. However, as it is a similar style, it does heavily remind me of the Coffin Dance song. Now to Toverland with Troy, and in my opinion this soundtrack fits the theme of the ride perfectly. It's a very good soundtrack, this one. Toverland overall does do a great job with its ride soundtracks, and Phoenix is no exception. The Phoenix soundtrack fits the ride very well. It's very graceful and it has that feel of freedom and flying that you're looking for with this ride. The last one at Toverland is Dwervelwind, and this max spinning coaster has one of the most epic soundtracks I've ever heard. Honestly, this is probably my favourite soundtrack that there is. It genuinely gives me chills when listening to it, and it's absolutely amazing. Also in the Netherlands, Efteling has some very unique soundtracks, and Baron 1898 is no exception. In my opinion, it's amazing how well this soundtrack fits the theme and the storyline of the ride. To begin, it's very positive and it fits that glorification of mining, but then later on it becomes a bit darker and it really fits the story. And now for one of those soundtracks that gets stuck in your head, it's De Vliegende Hollander, and after standing in the queue for this one I could not get it out of my head. It's very catchy and I do like this one. It's got a very positive vibe as well. Out of all the Efteling soundtracks, I would say that Joris and the Draak is the most dramatic. It does fit that Efteling style of music very well, but it also steps towards the epic side of things, and you can imagine being in a big battle with a dragon, which is the theme for this ride. At first you're going up the lift hill backwards and then you're underground. Psyche Underground does have a soundtrack that is very typical for Wallaby, except this is at Wallaby Belgium, but this soundtrack is definitely good fun to listen to. Despite also being at Wallaby Belgium, Tiki Waka has a very different kind of soundtrack, but it does fit the theme very well. It's very happy and positive, feels like you're on holiday, and it reminds me a little bit of Peach Beach in Mario Kart. Another very positive sounding soundtrack is Furious Baco at PortAventura. For such an innocent soundtrack, it's a pretty brutal ride. Also in Spain, the Ferrariland Red Dream Forever soundtrack is really good. The use of electric guitar in this does remind me of race cars for some reason, which is perfect. And did I mention it's got Freddie Mercury in it? Possibly one of the most iconic soundtracks in this video is of Space Mountain. This is at a Disney World somewhere, I'm not sure which one it is. It might be all of them because they do all seem to have variants of Space Mountain, but it's a very classic soundtrack. The incredible Hulk coaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure in Orlando has a very good onboard audio soundtrack, and you can hear the Hulk himself roar as you launch out of that first tunnel, and as a whole the soundtrack's just full of action and it's very fast paced. As I'm aware, Imascore have only made soundtracks for 2 rides in the United States, one of which is Mystic Timbers at Kings Island. I feel like this soundtrack has a very eerie vibe, which is perfect for the ride theme. Also at Kings Island, Orion has recently opened with this amazing Imascore soundtrack. So far we've only heard certain parts of this soundtrack, but it's definitely one to look out for. At Six Flags Magic Mountain, X2 is a very good example of how rock music in a theme park soundtrack can be done right. This ride has onboard audio, and going up the lift hill you're hearing a very catchy riff. There's lots of cool sound effects as you go around the ride, and it's just very good. It will add to the experience a lot if I ever get to ride it. So guys, those were my top 40 theme park soundtracks. I'm really grateful if you have reached the end of the video. I would love to know what your favourite soundtracks are, so please leave them below in the comments. And if there's any soundtracks that you think should have been in this video, please let me know as well. Remember, you can check the link in the description to find the playlist for all of these soundtracks on, so you can listen to them without me waffling over the top. I have put all of them in order of this video, or you could press shuffle and just listen to them in a random order. So thank you so much for watching. I've been DJ B Coasters, and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.